Australia is boiling with a new kind of tension, and it's aimed squarely at Indians.
Anti-immigration rallies are taking place in capital cities and regional centres across the country this afternoon.
In August 2025, thousands marched through major cities with signs demanding Indians out and a halt to all mass immigration. Over the past decade, the number of India-born residents has more than doubled, racing past 900,000 and reshaping suburbs from Sydney to Melbourne. Just a decade ago, around 380,000 India-born residents called Australia home. But by mid-2024, that number had exploded to nearly 916,000. The Indian community more than doubled in just 10 years, officially overtaking the Chinese as the largest migrant group after the British. This rise didn't happen by accident. Australian universities recruited Indian students aggressively, employers sought skilled tech and healthcare workers, and the government viewed Indian migration as an economic boost to offset an ageing population. For most of that period, Australians largely welcomed the energy and talent that newcomers brought. But this rapid growth consequently fueled a backlash. A vocal minority in Australia blames the recent influx of Indians for soaring rents, overcrowded trains, and strained hospitals.
Every man dies, but not every man lives. That is Australia.
They argue that resources are being stretched thin because of these immigrants. But is that the real story? Economic data tells a different tale. It's true that families are feeling squeezed. Between 2013 and 2024, median house prices in Sydney jumped more than 80%. But experts argue that housing shortages are actually caused by limited construction and high investment demand, not migrants. In fact, Australia's own data shows that migrants are net contributors to the economy, paying taxes and driving consumer spending. On average, a skilled migrant contributes around 250,000 Australian dollars more in taxes than they ever receive in public services during their lifetime. And it doesn't stop there. International students, who make up a big part of migration, brought in about $50 billion in 2023 alone through tuition fees and spending. These migrants fill critical jobs in key sectors like information technology and healthcare that Australia urgently needs. Economists have even warned that without continued migration, Australia's ageing population would shrink the workforce and slow the entire country's national growth. Beyond economics, however, lies a deeper fear of cultural change. Some protesters described the growing presence of Indian grocery stores, Hindu temples, and Diwali festivals as signs their neighbourhoods were becoming something else. On social media, people twisted these fears to make them more extreme, pushing the dangerous and false idea that there was a plan to replace the country's population with immigrants, similar to conspiracy theories in Europe and the United States. So the real issue is not the newcomers who are coming into this country to seek opportunity. It's actually what happens when a country's growth outpaces its planning, when governments fail to expand housing, healthcare and transport systems, leading to build-up of frustration. In that frustration, legal migrants, who followed every rule and left their homes behind for a promise Australia itself made, become easy scapegoats. For many Indians in Australia, these protests made private worries public. Parents began to worry about their children walking home in Indian dress, and students hesitated to speak their native languages on public transport. In response, community leaders organised safety hotlines. Their message was simple: we belong here and we are part of Australia's story. So Australia is now facing a major test. Will it allow people's financial struggles to be turned into fear of immigrants? Or will it fix the real problems, like housing, without scapegoating the very people it invited to help build the country? Who do you think is truly responsible for this tension in Australia?